What is up, everybody? It is LSU Odyssey Live. You probably just watched our show with Alexandra Mariah. Amazing podcaster. We got to get those links to you as well as soon as possible for you to see what she's got coming in the pipeline because really good podcast. Here's the thing. I did not even know she did a podcast. I click on the thing. I'm like, oh my god, she did, because I went to follow her when I got my new Twitter account. I'm like, oh my god, let's see this thing, and I'm listening to it while I'm at work, and I listened to that whole damn thing without even like I was in a kind of a trance listening to it. I'm writing my article. I'm just kind of like, oh my god, this is really good stuff. This is incredible stuff. And so I'm telling you, like, good person, really good people. You got to support her, but also we've got someone amazing here with you who's returning to the show once again. I mean, we can't get enough of this guy. Enough of this
What's
guy.
going on, man?
His name is AP. AP in the house. What's
What's
up,
going
man?
on, man?
How you
Nothing
doing?
much, man. Just living good on this good Thursday evening. Following Mardi Gras.
Dude, how's your Mardi Gras?
Real chill, real relaxed. I kind of stayed in this year. My wife and my kids went out to the parade. They enjoyed Zulu and Rex and all the trucks and stuff, and I was just in here kicking it, watching everything from the chair. I'm making some content for the people because this is what I've become addicted to. So, you
Hell
know,
yes. Dude, I've been seeing you doing a ton of shows, which is awesome. That's what
yeah,
I
man.
mean. It's really the time to do it, and you've really been laying down the law. How do you feel? How do you feel when you're like in that flow state when you know everything is really just kind of feeling good, or do you ever have a time where it's frustrating on the mic, or do you constantly just love it
Uh,
and you're just kind of just going?
Look, I'm gonna put it to you like this: the most frustrating part I found in this journey was just starting. That very first, first couple of times I turned the camera on and turned the mic on and went live. That was probably the most frustrating time because it was new. It was nerve wracking. It was apprehensive because it was like, who am I talking to? But once I got over that hump of, like, I really don't care. Like, I got something I
Yeah.
gotta say. Like, I don't care if I'm saying it into the void, if I'm talking into the abyss, if my words bounce off of deaf ears. I'm gonna make sure that whatever is on my heart is laid on my heart, is on my mind. I'm gonna put it out there for the people to consume. And either you like it or you don't. The choice is yours.
Hell yes. And here's the thing. I was actually I was reading a lot of things. I was writing a lot of my own stuff. I was just really just getting into the LSU vibe. Like, man, spring is almost coming here. I was just really getting into it. And then I listened to your show with Daniel. I absolutely love Daniel,
Oh,
O
that's my
line,
guy, man.
the O line guru himself,
Yeah.
Daniel. I want to get his take on the 2026 O line because I have a lot of theories, a lot of questions. I've been writing a lot of profiles on some of those guys and how they might work out. But I was listening to that show with you and Daniel, and I was so struck by how damn good you were on the mic, AP. I have to just hand it to you, man. I love good work. I love giving like absolute credit and shining a light to people who are just kicking ass, taking names. And man, there's something about your style that is very engaging, very inviting. Where does is that this is something we didn't touch on in the first part of this show that we're kind of continuing now.
Yeah.
Where does that kind of style come from? Where's that? Was that something you always had that kind of extrovert style?
So it's funny. I'm the most introverted extrovert you'll ever meet.
I could feel that.
I'm very to myself. But when I walk in a room of people, I know how to be a people person. I know how to open myself up, and I know how to move in an environment. And it's something that my grandmother instilled in me. Like I told you, when I was younger, my grandmother and grandfather raised me, so they were very religious. And I was involved heavily in my church. So at a young age, because my grandmother was a reading and English teacher, in the fourth grade, I was grading seventh grade and eighth grade English papers. I was grading eighth grade math assignments and homework assignments. I was intellectually advanced at a young age, but because of my speaking skills,
Wow.
my grandmother pushed me into public speaking at church. So we had this thing called this thing called the drama club. And the drama club, we did a lot of verbal and outspoken written pieces where we would get up and talk and have expressions that were based in scripture, but it was a lot of forward facing public speaking at a very early and young age. If you need to walk past, baby, you can. You can if you need to. Oh, you just watching? No, my wife is standing off to the side. Like that's my
What's
biggest fan.
up?
I wouldn't be doing this without her. Lon said hello, babe.
What's
If
up?
you,
What's
you can
your
come.
name? What's your name? I'm Lon. How's it going?
Hold on. I'm gonna take you off my headphones.
What's up? I just saw
That's
her.
that's my wife Latoya. Introducing her to
Latoya,
the world
what's
for the
up?
first time. And that's Lon. He runs LSU Odyssey. He covers LSU's been doing it for almost 10 years now. How long?
Yeah, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So but no, so I did a lot of front facing speaking and in that drama club it gave me a lot of training to, be comfortable talking and enunciating and finding my rhythm. And one of the things that accelerated that was there was the drama club was segregated based off of your age group. So younger kids did like a lot of stationary things, and you held a paper and you read off the paper to the congregation, and the people would clap. But I'm a very competitive person by nature, right? I wasn't comfortable being with the young kids. I wanted to be with the old kids. I wanted to be part of the group that was like hiding in the audience and you never know where they were going to pop up and they were just saying like great things, making verbal strong expressions. So what I had to do was to separate myself from the younger kids, I started memorizing my pieces. So I get up without my paper and I'd start speaking my piece without the paper, and then I started walking around. And then the people who were over the drama club said, "No, we're gonna put him with the older kids." And
Ah,
that's like so. Then I got comfortable doing those different things, and making public presentations and all that stuff like helps me here. It's translating to this point now, and I can tell you right now, honestly, I think I suck. Like I still feel like I have so much more to learn, and get better at.
no.
So
You are a better speaker than I am. I've been doing these live shows for a long time. You are a better speaker than I am. For sure, brother.
man,
You
I
can just
appreciate it, but
go. Like you've got something about you that I mean, if you ever start like I'm going to quit, I will get on your ass because you will not be quitting if it is up to me. You've got something about you that's special. When did you really first go like, "Hey, we timeouts and tangents. This is something that we're going to launch. That this is going to be the profile. This is going to be the brand." When did that all come together? I really
so
wanted to get
I
into that
kicked
last time.
I kicked the can on the idea of doing a podcast with my wife about a year ago, and she was like, "Look, you all you do is watch sports. You consume it. You can talk it all day long. You can." She was like, "It's smart for you to do it." And I was like, all right, well, I got to think of a name. I was like, because I'm also a long winded speaker. Like, my kids tell me all the time, like, when you talk to us, you just go on and on and on about things. Like, you just go into these tangents. And it's like, yeah, because I want to make sure I'm illustrating my point to you to where you can get it from different perspectives. Like, I'm not just giving you one angle to go by. I'm trying to give you the point and give you a circular way to view it
And that's
so you
why I
can
love
round it out.
listening to you. It's 360. It's
Well, exactly.
3D.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm not just going to give you information and say, "Hey, you take it and you do with it what you will." I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to give you my perspective. I'm going to give you a counter side for you to take it because you may not see it from me. But my my
Hell
my
yeah.
point, my job is to try to make it so plain to where you may not see it the same way I do, but you understand why I see it the way I see it, and that's how I round out that view. So when I came up with that, when I thought about that, I said, well, look, I know I'm gonna slip off into other different talks, I know I'm gonna go off on these tangents. And I was like, I knew right then and there, I knew tangents had to be in it. So I was like, you know what, timeouts and tangents. That just fits it. So I had the idea for the name. I presented it to my wife, and honestly, she didn't like it at first. She was like, that's weird. But then I presented it to her like why, and then it made sense. And she was like, okay, cool. So when are you gonna start? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And I thought about starting this season, like before the season kicked off. And I was like, no, I'm gonna wait because if I start now, everybody's kind of got their little silos, their little pockets that they're gonna go to, and I want to kind of sit back and just study the field and see like how this plays out, not from a consumer aspect, but like if I was a person who is in this field right now, what would I need to do to make sure that the people that I'm going to draw to me are going to look to come to me every time? How can I set myself apart? And I also understand too, like being real about it, I'm a black man getting into this. Like, I know I'm going to have my challenges because I have to appeal to a wider audience, right? And I don't mean wider audience. I have to cross certain thresholds. So I have to make sure I present myself in a way that's consumable for everyone I want to reach because it's not this content is made for everyone. I'm not shielding anybody from anything, but more than anything, I want to give you the perspective of coming from my shoes. So I'm going to dress it from everything I've lived through. It's going to be washed through the things that I've experienced personally so you can feel why I feel the way I do about certain things. And that lays into the tangent aspect of it as well. So when the season moved how it went and then Brian Kelly got fired, I personally didn't want to. I got you, baby. Love you too. I personally didn't want to jump in right there because that's easy. You know, like because you can talk about the coaching search all day long, but I didn't have any information on the coaching search to sell people, so I didn't want to give them false hope. Like I'm breaking onto the scene and I got this new information. So I plotted and I was like, you know what? The best time would be at the end of the season, going into the holidays. I can be low profile, work my way up, set a foundation for for when the season comes. So if I can build a consistent base of an audience, when the season comes, we can grow from there. I can go through all my growing pains right now when it's harder because we know football sells. Football's always going to drive an audience to you, especially when it's centered around LSU. People want to talk about the Tigers, and people damn sure want to talk about the Tigers football team. So
Yes.
when the football season pops off, I know I'm gonna get an audience just from a ripple effect. But if I have my audience already established, they know that they can come to me for this content already. We already have a relationship built. We already have a community established, and then we can just further grow from there. And I can go through all my learning, my mistakes now, so that way when it's prime time, I'm ready to roll.
Man, that's why I think you've just got something about you that I think is destined to last in this business because it's about longevity, and I think there's just I just got a really cool feeling every time I listen to you talk, AP, because you do take the listener kind of on a ride of figuring it out. First, it's kind of like, well, let's figure this out together, and then it's, damn, that's what I think it is, and this is why. And I love that show you did with Daniel the other night, and I definitely want to listen to a lot more because I want to get more of kind of your style. It's such a really interesting style to listen to. It's not just let me tell you how it is, blah blah blah. It's a very, like we said, 3D type of vibe. But
A lot of that approach too, line. Not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but a
no,
lot of
you're
that
good, bro.
approach too comes from, like I consume like my favorite rapper is Kendrick Lamar,
Yes.
and it's not because it's this quick McDonald's type of processed music that like Drake gives you. And don't get me wrong, not saying I'm a Drake hater. There's a space for Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a space. Everybody goes to McDonald's. It just is what it is. Just about everybody on this planet has been to McDonald's at least once. But if you consume McDonald's every day, it's gonna kill you slowly. So I want that Kendrick Lamar type of type of approach. So I want to make sure I'm making you think as we're having fun throughout this experience. Like, I want to give you something where you walk away feeling like, damn, that was good. Like, I never thought about it like that. But at the same time, you don't even realize that you're thinking your way through it. We're talking it out.
Well, seriously, for me to be writing an article while listening to that and like kind of stop writing and listening to you guys like intently, not just like I'm gonna listen to support, but really was like, what the hell? AP is going off here. Like, dude, it was very impressive. I
I
just have,
appreciate it, Lon. Thank you, man.
and I gotta let the people know that and put that on the record. I'm pretty sure I've said that before, but damn, dude. Um, Now Kiffin, this is someone we
Yes.
talked about before in the last show, but only about, which was interesting, that we talked more about him as a person than as a coach.
Yep.
And so now, man, you said it like much like myself. You wanted LSU to hire him in November 2021.
Yes.
Do you think they did the right thing, kind of skipping over Lane until now? Do you think that was the right move, or how do you think that would have
I
worked
mean,
out?
hindsight being 2020, yeah, obviously. Because selfishly, you want Lane when you wanted him. I mean, there's a reason why I wanted Lane Kiffin to be the coach in 2021, right? Like, you knew he was going to be explosive. However, that Lane was a double edged sword. He was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He still wasn't ready for the full weight of the responsibility that came with being the head coach at LSU. There was still years of, I mean, at that time, Lane was still what, 46, 45 years old?
Yeah.
Like, he was still relatively young. He still had to go through a maturing process. And you can see that now, right? And that's what made that waiting period for both sides. Because even then, I don't think the buy in from the administration would have been as structurally supportive as it is now.
No,
Like,
no, no.
you hear me talk about it a lot if you listen to my content. There's a level of unity that's taking place that we have never seen at Baton Rouge, at LSU, or hell, for any college before. Most of these Power Five programs, especially the big ones, the Michigans, the Texas, the Notre Dames, they kind of operate on an island all alone on their own. Do they have influence within the government? Of course, yes, obviously they do because they have boosters, they have alumni that all run in political circles who do dovetail and give back into the government. I mean, give back into the university. However, how many people can say that their governor is all the way tapped in with the flagship school of the state?
Probably nobody.
I mean, we talk about that. We talk about the deal for the jersey patch, right? Isn't it ironic that that's a 7 year, $54 million deal? Is that coincidental?
Nope.
No, no, it's not. Like, like this is what I'm saying. Like, we have a level of buy-in and alignment that nobody can replicate.
It's it's it's
It's an
crazy.
unfair advantage, and everybody likes to joke on Louisiana, saying, "Oh, Louisiana doesn't have the money." I was part of that group. I was there. You can put it on the record. I admittedly thought and believed that LSU doesn't have the money to compete with these big dogs. They don't.
I knew we did, but I knew it wasn't going to LSU like it should. And it
I
was kind of private donors here and there, getting money
right.
under
I
the table here or there, but not a full
I
fledged
didn't
partnership.
right. I didn't think that the level of commitment required was ever going to be there. I knew we had money,
Oh yeah,
right?
I mean
But
you can see it. All the refineries.
exactly, there's money in Louisiana. You produce oil. There's money. Not only do you produce oil, you have the market on seafood. You have
Yes.
one of the leading port, the biggest port in the world coming through the Mississippi River. You have money. The state has money. It's just, where does the money want to be spent? We didn't have people who could really bring all of that together until now. Until now.
Man,
So then hiring Lane then would have been a great thing, but it would have had its downfall too. Well, do I think Lane would have ended up like Brian Kelly? No, I think if Lane would have been hired then, he still would have been at LSU. He still would have been successful, but he probably would have been looking for another exit. This may have been the year that he left too to go to the NFL, right? Because he just wasn't getting. He could
could
have
be.
could have stretched out with the way that the administration was set up. But now, instead, he doesn't need to go to the NFL right now because he's taking the approach and treating this program like a professional organization.
Absolutely. You can feel it from the top to the bottom. And that's what every player I talked to has told me. Like, bro, like we felt like we were pros when we just signed LSU and we came here, but it never felt like there was a pro commitment day, 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 every single moment of every day. Now that's here. Now that's
Yep.
been stamped in and there's a vibe change. You
You
know,
no, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, AP, I cut you off.
No, no, you go ahead.
No, I was going to go into the next question. I was going to segue into the next question, so I don't want to change that thought.
No, no. So like that Like I felt it when in his initial press conference, right? I did, but when he did that press conference immediately following the National Signing Day, I typed it out in Twitter and sent it as a post, and I said like Lane is telling you the quiet part out loud. He is treating this like a professional organization. And LSU, you should be proud because people are going to attempt to model his approach. And he's telling you his priorities are on evaluation, having the resources, and then properly allocating the resources where they need to be. That sounds like a head coach and a general manager of the New Orleans Saints, of the Seattle Seahawks, of the Minnesota Vikings, where you're getting that approach here in Baton Rouge. And guess what? Lane Kiffin is someone who, one, had an NFL job very young,
Yeah, yeah,
very young,
the
at 30 years
youngest.
old. Right. Still to this day, the youngest head coach in NFL history. Not only did he have an NFL job, he was raised by his father, who was an NFL coach. So no other college head coach has the foundation of professional knowledge of running an organization like Lane Kiffin does.
No, I mean because he's done it both,
Yes.
and I mean he's been there at both, and one you kind of
No,
hear
you
Aubrey
good.
in the
You
background,
good. You
Kyrie.
good.
Um, but AP, where would LSU be had they continued down that road with Brian Kelly and not hired Lane Kiffin? What would that have looked like?
I think this would have been a seminal fracturing point for the for the program. We would have seen a decline, almost going back to the Jerry DiNardo days, where you're kind of relevant, but you're not a serious contender. You're living off the success of the past. Really, no true hope for the future. You're questioning every single decision the administration makes, and who wants to live like that? Because then you end up in a point you'll end up in a point somewhere where you're like the men's team and just apathy just sets in, and you can't have that in this type in with this type of program. And credit to Scott Woodward, regardless of why the reasons why, regardless of how it went down, still being able to make the decision when he did was the right decision. Firing Brian Kelly that Sunday morning after Texas A&M was the right decision
It
because
had to
had it
happen.
gone on, it had to happen. If it would have dragged out any longer, the fan base would have turned, the boosters would have started drying up the money, and it would have been a you would have started digging a ditch for the coffin to bury it. It would have been bad.
You would have had the tombstones on the yard type of thing going on.
Yes.
Um, but this 2026 LSU, we talked about this historic portal class, AP, but who is in your mind the most critical non-quarterback? Because I'm sure
Oh, that's
Levitt
easy. Yeah.
Levitt will probably be that one, but the most
I'm going out.
non-critical.
I'm going outside of. I'm gonna give you something, Lon. I'm gonna give you something, and nobody's talking about this, but I'm gonna say it. LSU automatically frontline headline news has the best quarterback room in the nation, by none. But I'm gonna tell you that I think we quiet as kept have the best running back room in the nation.
You could say that because, dude, the guys we picked up, Racine Guillory, all these guys, Gainey, they come from some big schools. They
Not
were kind
only
of
that,
thrown away
look
at big
look
schools.
at how they complement each other. So
yes,
you missed out on Keywan Lacey, and that honestly that may be the biggest blessing in disguise. And here's why: you're able to retain Harlem Berry, which I don't think Harlem Berry was ever leaving. So you would have paired Keywan Lacey with Harlem Berry. Great 1-2 punch. Cool. However, you're able to get back Caden Durham, who
yes.
I think we are going to see him live up to the expectations that we had for him this year. Here's why. You have a difference makers in running back coach at Kevin Smith. You have difference
Love him.
makers on the offensive line coaching staff in Eric Wolford and James Craig. You've recruited elite level offensive linemen, which will give Caden Durham, who is a one-cut runner, north-south backfield threat, the holes he needs to make the cuts in the gaps that he needs to go to. Now, what up, Paul? Thanks for being here, my guy. Appreciate it.
Paul, brother.
Now, you look at the piece that no one's really talking about. My favorite pickup, Dylan Jones from Wisconsin. Who was Keywan Lacey before Ole Miss?
What do you mean? Who he was? Did he?
Yeah.
Did he
who
a
was
different?
Keywan? Who was Keywan Lacey before Ole Miss? He was a relative unknown running back that transferred from Missouri.
I was about to say, was it Miami? I was about to say Miami was the guess, but it was Mizzou.
The
wow.
fact that you even have to think about where he came from is proving my point right now.
Exactly.
He barely played. But here is Dylan Jones, who was a Big Ten starter at Wisconsin. And the only reason why his season got cut short was because he had a turf toe injury.
Yes.
This kid is your downhill, contact-seeking running back to break tackles at the line of scrimmage, which your other two backs can't do. Harlem Berry is very explosive. He's your elusive, game-breaking, game-changing, field-tilting playmaker on offense.
Yes.
Caden Durham will make plays that shouldn't be made plays. But when you need to get yards, Dylan Jones is the guy you're going to turn around, hand the ball off to, and say, go make 3 out of 1. Go make 5 out of 3. Dylan Jones is going to be the piece that we need. And that is why
Sledgehammer.
I think we have the best running back room in the country.
You
Not
know
just
what?
in the conference,
wow.
in the country.
Here's the thing, man. There's Caden Durham had 1,000 total yards as a freshman. And Harlem Berry barely got the ball and did that. So there's production to back this up. But also, dude, I was actually writing a profile on the running backs, and I was starting to get into his film. Dylan Jones, right? Dylan, am I getting the name right? Because some of these guys,
Dylan Jones.
There's Trey Brown, there's Trey Wilson, there's
and he
so
spells
many
it
of
funny. He spells it with a Y, Dylin.
Yes. There's so many of kind of the same names. Like there's Jalen Brown, there's Jordan
Brown.
There's a lot of the same names. But Man, his film reminds me of just some of those sledgehammer running backs of LSU's past. LSU haven't had a guy like that in a while, at least a guy that has been successful. A lot of shying away from contact, or a lot of like seeking contact when you should just be hitting the hole and then making the contact. So I love your analysis right there. Everybody, that's why AP is good at what he does right there, is because you get analysis like that. A guy that I wasn't thinking of, a guy that maybe you weren't thinking of, but a guy that AP damn sure was thinking of, and that's a dude who could be a difference maker in a Lane Kiffin offense for sure.
Yes.
With that rushing attack that Kiffin's never had a rushing attack outside the top 40. Never. I looked it up.
Never.
And I looked up also the passing game, and the passing game hadn't been, I think it was outside the top 60 or something. There was a couple of years where it was like, okay, that's why the quarterback was like Jake Coker or something like that. You know, like there was a few duds along the way, but his development with quarterbacks, you know, I just barely talked to Alexandra Mariah, who had some really cool, really clippable takes on Sam Levitt that I really can't wait to share with people if they haven't seen it, because she had some really hot takes on Levitt. Where do you see Sam Levitt's development going in year one? Because
Sam Levitt's going to win the Heisman if we lose no less than 2 games and make the playoffs. Sam Levitt will be your Heisman. Will be in New York. He will be a Heisman Trophy finalist.
Really?
So Lane Kiffin also, one of the things people don't pay attention to is Lane Kiffin loves quarterbacks who don't turn the ball over. Why do you think Austin Simmons got replaced? He was having a turnover problem.
Turnover injury.
Right. You know how many interceptions Sam Levitt has thrown as a starter?
I think it was like 7 to like 44 touchdowns. Okay, yeah.
9 total in 2 seasons. 9.
Yeah, I remember being like, okay.
So like, you put Sam Levitt with Jordan Tyson, and they were absolutely dynamic. He's got 3 Jordan Tysons and a running game.
Man.
And look, don't get me wrong. I would have loved to have seen Trinidad Chambliss in purple and gold, but I wouldn't have been as excited as I am to see Sam Levitt in purple and gold in this Lane Kiffin offense, because I've seen Sam Levitt with Kenny Dillingham, and no slight to Kenny Dillingham. I was literally posting, "Get silly with Dilly" if we weren't riding the Lane train, right? Like I wouldn't have been mad if we'd have brought Kenny Dillingham over here. Wouldn't have been mad at all. But you've seen Sam Levitt with Kenny Dillingham. We know that Kenny Dillingham is the Coke Zero version of Lane Kiffin.
I mean, he might be like the caffeine free as well, like caffeine free. Pepsi
I wouldn't do him that bad. Caffeine free is relatively non-existent. At least Coke Zero got some pop to it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't quite Diet Coke yet, but it's still, it's like Coke Zero when you see one. You know what I'm saying? You can recognize a Coke Zero.
I'm sorry, Dilly. I shouldn't have done you that bad, bro.
So we've seen him with Kenny Dillingham. So what the hell is this kid who came into the transfer portal with a Liz Frank injury and was still rated the #1 overall player? What is he going to do with a guy like Lane Kiffin, who's taken relative unknowns like Matt Corral, Jackson Dart, and now Trinidad Chambliss, and turn them into viable, draftable quarterbacks on the next level?
It's incredible. For this, just the wide breadth and different profiles of quarterbacks he's been successful with. I mean, a lot of these coaches are only good with running quarterbacks, only good with that. It doesn't matter. He makes it work. And making some of these players who were on the 2025 LSU Tigers team work, because you needed to retain some of these guys. I think it was very important to retain some of these players as part of the fabric of this next era. Who do you think was like the most important 2025 LSU Tiger to retain?
outside, I'm not gonna list the obvious, like Harlem Berry, and
Oh,
then
you can list any of
defensively.
them.
I don't want to. Those are easy. Harlem Berry, DJ Pickett, those are easy. For me, Trey Green. Lane Kiffin has never had a Trey Green. Remember what I said about Jordan Tyson and Sam Levitt.
Yes. Okay.
You
So
think about. Let's round out this offense for a second, Lon. I don't think you really rounded out this offense for a second. All of the receivers that you brought in from the portal average no less than 15 yards per reception.
yeah, yeah.
You kept Harlem Berry, Caden Durham, added Dylan Jones, and then you throw in a 6'7", 250-pound athletic freak who nobody can match up with defensively.
And it just should be an automatic touchdown in the red zone. Really
So
should be.
I'm not, and then we're not even talking about the offensive line reconstruction that you just did. So why are we sitting up here limiting the expectations for what this offense can be when Lane legitimately, if you look at the offenses that he has had at Ole Miss, name a player that he's had that's been better than Trey Green.
As far as like just offensively,
No,
just
like as
like
far like for a tight end, like name a tight end that's been better.
tight end. Usually, what he does tight end wise, it's kind of traditional, and so those guys don't really
Exactly.
pop.
Exactly.
It's kind of hard for me to even remember a Lane Kiffin tight end in a
My
way.
my point, and guess what? Their tight ends have whipped our ass the last 2 years.
Yes, they blocked our asses into the ground, man, and
Yeah, so
that's Zach Grace from Oregon, a good pickup for that duty.
another right. So that's what I'm saying. Like this offense is complete. It's
No,
elite.
you're right. I'm
It's
not limiting it at all.
and we're sitting up here with, and I'm not saying we, but as a collective fan base, I know that people are being cautiously optimistic,
Yes.
and I understand why. Guess what? I got breaking news for you folks. You didn't pay Lane Kiffin $91 million to be cautiously optimistic. He didn't come here and invest $40 million in this roster to be cautiously optimistic. If you think Lane Kiffin is going out here and not trying to make the playoff and win a championship next year, you are looking at the wrong team and you're not cheering for the right sport.
It's
Go
about winning now.
watch basketball. Go watch Go watch the men's basketball team. That's the team that's playing for next year. They're trying to tank like they're in the NBA draft right now.
It's crazy, man.
We don't have time for that. Lane is out here to win now. He's looking to kick ass and take names later. Plain and simple.
And here's the thing: that this is the window. This is a rare window where the college football landscape has been pretty damn weak the last 2 years.
Wide open.
Indiana. I mean, it's been 11 of 12 different college football playoff teams in the last 3 years. It's been 11 of 12 different teams. That says a lot. A lot. Look, the only team that's been in there twice in the last 3 years has been Texas.
Yes.
There's no reason LSU should not be in the mix. And, man, it has been inspiring to see how Kiffin has activated the donor base, has activated all these levers, pulled all these switches to, like, say, made all these moves, brought in all the right talent. But do you think the hype is getting – do you think there's too much hype? Do you think this is
not enough hype.
Worthy of the hype?
Yes, absolutely. I don't think there's not enough hype.
Me too. Because on paper, unless you have catastrophic injuries and just like widespread calamity, this should be a program that contends for a championship this season.
I love the fact that we're flying under the radar. Please.
Me too.
Please let it happen. Blake of AYS asked the question yesterday, like, what rank do you think Ole Miss should start the season at? Well, if we're talking preseason rankings, I think 5 should be a good spot, no lower than 8. It's hard to argue going into the keyword going into next season that there should be 5 teams ranked higher than them. However, I also said this on my show Tuesday night. They will take a step back. They lost a lot defensively on a defense that was already suspect. And what did they do? they doubled down and promoted the suspect defensive coordinator to head coach. And we saw in the game that they skated by, they skated out against Georgia because 6 turned into Superman in the
Yes.
fourth quarter. And
Trinidad.
I don't know if you're gonna get games like that all the time from him because Miami showed you how to play him. Stop the run, be aggressive with the receivers to disrupt the timing. Make sure you have somebody in his face. And it
Oh
made him
my
uncomfortable. What up, little man?
Oh my God! Look who just ran in here. He's been sledding with his grandma and grandpa all day.
Oh man, you've been living a good life.
Sage, can you say hi, AP?
Hi, AP.
Say hi,
Hey,
AP.
Sage.
That's my man, AP. Guess who? Guess what's on his shirt? Can you see what's on his shirt?
Yeah.
What does it say? You know LSU, huh? Do we watch LSU Tigers? Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
You know,
That's what I'm talking about.
I absolutely love this little guy. He's been raised and baptized in the Tiger faith, huh? Haven't you, son? You know who is the number one kind of? I know I've kind of asked some of these questions, but I really love kind of getting this microscopic take on just players instead of the 10,000-foot position group stuff.
Right.
I loved like hearing your take on Dylan Jones. So another who is like offensively and defensively, who is the number one player that you've got your eyes on? Like maybe we can avoid Levitt since we've already talked about him, but who was that, like just the number one overall dude that you're just like, that's a guy that like I'm really thinking is going to dominate this year?
I am so excited to see Ty Benefield.
Yes.
I am so excited to see Ty Benefield.
Me too.
The dude was a game wrecker at Boise State defensively. And you lose a guy like AJ Halsey. You lose a guy like AJ Halsey, and you don't really know where that not the production is going to come from, but the attitude, the swag, the intangibles, that charismatic approach to it's going to be my dead body on this field before I let you score.
Yeah. Yes.
That is what Ty Benefield is about to bring to this defense. And then you pair him with Whit Weeks, TJ Dotery, and Princewell Umami-Yellen. And you're going to have some heat-seeking missiles on defense that's looking to pop people.
A very fast, very like frenetic defense, and that's the thing. There's speed everywhere all over this defense. Yes. Benefield over 107 tackles, 16, I think actually 17 total TFLs in the last 2 years.
Man, as a safety.
Yeah, 8+ in the last 2 years. He's had 8 in each of the last 2 seasons. He's loaded up the box with PBUs, with interceptions. He reminds me of Halsey in so many ways. Smaller school, stuffs the stat sheet, veteran presence. But here's one worry for me, AP. Do you think LSU, we loaded up at edge rushing, pass rushing positions. We're going to have some really talented pass rushers there. Do we have enough at defensive tackle interior wise?
Yes.
I
think so. I thought we had enough last year, but losing Gabe Rutherford was a blow to the defense nobody really likes to talk about because that was your pass rusher. And you need that edge rusher to lighten the load and the burden in the middle. Like, as you know, I told you my son plays D-line. I played D-line. I'm cool with Marlon Favorite. Me and Marlon have been friends now for going on 4 or 5 years.
Oh, I love Big Fave.
So yeah, I talk to Fave almost every day. So when you look at the trenches, you need somebody on the outside who can make sure that offense, that center is fanning, that the guards are fanning, so you can create one-on-one matches on the interior. You didn't have that, right? So the tackles are locking up on the edge, and when they're doing that, guess what? your interior guys are getting double teamed.
Yeah.
So they're not. It's hard for one man to beat two, and the center can come off and help. There's really nothing that you can do outside of just like Indomik and Sue to
So
beat that. So I
so
think with the additions that we have on the edge and Gabe Rutherford coming back, guys like Don McKinley, Stephilian Green, um, and the guy that we got from Auburn are all going to be real big difference makers because of
Brockton or
what
is it
we have.
Blockton? Yeah,
Blockton.
Blockton, Malik Blockton. Yeah.
Yep.
So okay, I forgot about Blockton. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. See, that's the thing, man. Is we are so loaded that last night I was writing about William Satterwhite. I forgot about Devin Harper also coming from Ole Miss, and I'm like,
Yes.
damn. Okay, I forgot about him also coming, and then now we forgot about Malik Blockton, and it's like, dude, this transfer portal class is I don't like you said. I don't even know if the hype justifies how loaded this class actually is. How big
It.
time the upgrades are.
I'm telling you, it's not getting enough hype.
I mean, we haven't won a game yet. We haven't played a game, but on paper, in talking season, in an off season, when you can look at what you've got on, like, how can this team not be anywhere, outside of the top 5 in a ranking, top 10? When you talk
No, they
about
won't be because
you've got the number 1 quarterback.
there's a lot of prove it. There's
Yes,
a lot of prove it, and in this, I think we're gonna come in ranked anywhere between 8 and 12, anywhere between 8 and 12, and that's fair.
that sounds
Hopefully,
right.
honestly, I want us to be ranked 13.
Me too.
I
Just
want
kind
us to
of
be, yeah, I want us to be ranked right in the
disrespect.
middle. Yeah, please, please, please keep sleeping on us. Please, please keep sleeping on us because there's nothing scarier than standing in the mist and seeing a train appear out of nowhere.
We have to clip that shit. That is amazing. A train coming out of nowhere, and it's the Lane train coming for your soul, baby. Like, seriously, here's the thing though. Lane isn't coming here for a project.
No.
This is a win now sensation. This is a win now vibe. This is a
Look,
win now program.
Lane has been at a school with 3 letters that ended in a U before. It was
Yeah.
FAU. No, he's at LSU now, and he knows the pedigree that he's at. I said this before on a previous show. Pete Golding made a statement at the school in Oxford that he doesn't recruit to trophies of the past because the guys in the locker room didn't win those. And
Oh,
I was like, yeah, of course you don't. It's easy for you to say that I'm not going to recruit to something that I don't have. That's
yes.
easy. That's like saying I'm not going to trick if I'm broke. I'm not gonna buy you to. I'm not gonna take you to get your nails done. I'm not gonna take you out to dinner. I'm not gonna get you no new shoes or new clothes. I'm not gonna get your hair done or anything because I don't have the money to do it in the first place. It's easy to say that when you don't have it. But he made that statement, and the first thing Lane did when he walked in the football ops in Baton Rouge was take a picture of the trophies in the trophy room and post it.
Because
Why?
that's the standard.
That's the standard. You recruit to what you have because you're letting the players know what the expectation is. We slipped from here and you are being brought here to get back to that. If you're not pushing to be the next Heisman, the next Biletnikoff, the next Thorpe, the next national championship winner, the next Joe Moore Award winner, the next Dick Butkus Award winner, you need to get the hell out of here because Baton Rouge ain't for you.
Need not apply. Need not apply if you're not looking for that. If you're not hunting for that. And that's the thing is LSU wasted a lot of years where we left a lot of championships on the floor the
Yes.
last few decades. And there's something about this era. Who knows how long it's going to last, how long Kiffin will be here, how long this energy can keep going, if it will generate into wins, all of that type of stuff. You need a lot of elements outside of just what we have now.
Look, I'm
But
gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna clip that. I'm making a video. I'm working on a little video project that I'm gonna drop on Sunday night, and I'm gonna clip this because I said this before. The further we get away from this thing, the more the people in Oxford are going to realize and come to understand that LSU is a better job.
Oh God, yes.
And you even have people starting to say now that Lane at some point will win a championship at LSU. I wonder why.
And they even said it about Kelly. Even people who didn't even believe in Kelly, they said that he would just stumble into one because it's LSU. So you got a guy who
And he
does
almost did. He
he
almost did.
he should
He
have.
literally almost did had he not hired Matt House, which was the dumbest decision that he made in his tenure. It's what set the ball rolling to where we are today. Thank God. Because if he would have had a Durante Jones at DC, that 23 team wins a natty by far and
Absolutely.
away.
It like even if you fire Matt House after like the first, second loss of that season, you replace him in the interim. You keep Whit Weeks starting over Omar Spates, who is not right for
Yes.
that team at the moment. I'm not
Right.
knocking on him right
Not
then, but
knocking on him because he's balling in the pros.
Whit Weeks set that defense free. Harold Perkins was playing at his ultimate. That was how that team should have been.
Yep.
You probably do win a championship. Um, AP, my final question for you, brother. And then we'll wrap up for tonight. But let's keep this going. But
Absolutely.
AP, where do you see? This is kind of a crazy question, I think, but I think it's something that I want you to really visualize and kind of see it as something that is attainable, that is possible, that is something that you know you can work for and get. Where do you see timeouts and tangents, or even just yourself in this future, this career path that you've taken? Where do you see it going?
Well, my ultimate goal, like I've said, I told my wife this. Like this is a passion project. This is something that I'm doing, but I love doing it, and eventually, I want this to be my full time career. I'm going all in now, so at some point, this can change not my life, but my wife's life. So she can see that the sacrifices that I'm making now will pay dividends down the road for her later. And she is a full partner in this with me from the business aspect and everything. Like it is me and her. That's my ride or die. Y'all may see my face, but behind the scenes without her, I'm not here. So my goal is to be not the biggest voice, but one of the most seminal voices for LSU. And not just for LSU, but for the state of Louisiana. I want when people think of Louisiana sports, I want them to think of AP. Plain and simple. I want them to turn to me and I want them to say, I know that this guy's going to give me a real, authentic perspective and it's going to be honest and from the heart.
Man, Latoya, you heard it here. All credit and love to you, and same thing for Chelsea, man. It's this
Same thing for Chelsea.
it's the
Yeah.
same thing that we're pushing for, man. Is it's not just like this, hey, we want to get this for our egos. This is to change our lives. This is so we can change our families' lives. This is so we can have a career, a future, doing something that we love. And that's just what everyone wants to do. That's the dream, is that you do something that you can provide for
And
your family, you can live comfortably, and you are doing something that you love.
and look, I wanna put this out here too. Like when I started this, I didn't know where it was gonna go. But bigger than just my family, I love the community that's growing out of this too. And like I told the guys I've been doing pods with, whatever doors I come across, I want to blow them so far wide open that I can bring y'all through them with me. Plain and simple. This isn't just about me. It's about showing the world that Louisiana is not what you think it is and that we can unite. And when we do, we are a scary proposition to deal with. We set the bar. We're going to set the standard that we may have our past, we may have our shortcomings, but at the end of the day, what we do have most importantly is each other's backs. And even the people who may not be directly from Louisiana, who are transplants, but just associated with the school, with LSU, with the Saints, whatever, you're home, you're family. Because you can support any other school in the world, but you choose to support us. And we love y'all for that. Plain and simple.
AP, in closing here, man, I just want
What
you
up,
to
Austin?
know, as a as a black man who is covering LSU, I see you. As a black man who's covering LSU, I celebrate you taking this step and pushing into this, maybe a little bit of the unknown because of how few black men I've actually seen covering LSU. I think it's just you and Carter. I think it's
Right.
just you and Carter the power. And so all I can say is welcome. And seriously,
Thank
don't
you.
don't you ever stop.
No, I'm not. I'm not, man. I will give my life for this. Like this, I cannot tell you how much I love doing this. And I told this to my wife before too. It's like I knew I wanted to do something like this before, but I'm so mad at myself for not doing it sooner, for waiting this long to take this step. So I cannot forget that. And like Austin said, Austin's another one too. Austin's very new, but he's gonna be breaking into this thing soon too. So we got three of us, a little three musketeer group, and we got all different shades. So,
Yes, indeed. I forgot about Austin because he's new too. I didn't even know he was doing one, and I'm seeing the clips, and I'm like, okay, this is damn good. Like you guys got something going on, and I love the new communities that are being brought up here from the LSU media because it's not. There's something very homegrown about it that is just. I love all the camaraderie from the Go Team guys. I
yep,
mean the mythology of Zombie Bob alone. I
my
mean, my
guy,
God,
my guy, the most interesting man in the world.
oh,
That's
you
what I
gotta
call him.
love Zombie
That's
man.
that's my guy, man.
Chip,
That's my guy.
Daniel.
So I'm gonna let you know right now. So myself and Chip, we are planning. We will not planning. We will be boots on the ground September 19th in Oxford, Mississippi. We are
Hell
going to the
yes.
game, and I'm letting the world know right now. I know I'm new to this. I'm learning it, but I'm going to live stream the entire thing. Now I won't show shots of the game because I don't want to get banned and I don't want account to get strike. Like the big wigs don't like that. But you will see generic fan reactions, interactions. We're going to try to get interviews while we're there. We're
Oh
going to
man.
be, we're going to be doing a lot of work. It's going to be a long day, but it's
Oh,
going to
I
be a
want in.
fun day, and we're not going to miss out on this opportunity. And of course, like I'm letting it be known here, but I want to try to get as many people to go with us as possible because one, I know I would look. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a black man going to Oxford, Mississippi. The people barely made it out of Mississippi to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like, we barely made it out of Mississippi to start. So, like, I know I'm going into enemy territory. So, but there's strength in numbers. We need to show them that we're going to show up
I'm in.
regardless, no matter where,
I'm
right? No
in.
matter when. And we need to let them know that these colors don't run, no matter what. We want all smoke. And if we got to walk in your trap, we're going to take over your trap.
Damn straight. AP, I want in, my man. I want to definitely join you on that trip to Oxford. Chip, what a badass. Everybody, have a good rest of your night. Who's watching, and AP, my man, thank you for joining us again, and I look
Let me
forward to
just say
doing this
this
again
real
soon.
quick, Lon. Let me just say this real quick.
Of
To
course.
everybody that's supporting us, please, 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 please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and follow. We are building a legitimate community here. Don't care about like what your past may have been. We're focused on the future. We want to make sure that everybody can grow and go with us. Plain and simple. This is about family. Louisiana represents family. LSU is about family. And we want to make sure this fandom is feeling the family love too. I can tell you right now, I can't thank you guys enough because I wouldn't be here without support from people like you, Lon. Thank you for breaking down doors, setting trends, and going into places where people didn't think that you deserved to be, and still, you're still taking it head on. Thank you for sharing your platform with me tonight. I'm honored to be here, and thank you for all the kind words that you shared for myself and my family. Thank you so much, man.
AP, seriously, man, anytime. It is an honor to talk with you and watch what you do and your growth and your rise. And it's going to be fun next couple few decades, my man.
Yeah, man, because I'm in it for the long haul.
Me too. AP, we'll be talking soon, my man.
Later, man.
So
Appreciate
have,
you, Line.
go Tigers, baby.
Go Tigers, baby.